There seems to be a growing divide among supporters of the Democratic presidential contenders. Young voters overwhelmingly are backing Senator Bernie Sanders, a trend that seems to be crossing ethnic lines as well, as nationwide polling suggests younger Latinos and blacks are much more likely to have a positive view of Sanders compared with older voters. So how is this going to impact Saturday's caucus in Nevada, where millennials make up nearly half of all eligible Latino voters? Let's talk about it with Ebony Williams, a political analyst and Fox News contributor, and Gianno Caldwell is a Republican strategist. So I don't know which one of you to phrase this question to, so I'll make it a jump ball. How is a 74-year-old self-described Democratic socialist winning the youth vote in the Democratic race?
Well, they're Bernie's kids. They're Bernie's kids, and they're liking his vision, I believe. Much like a senator from 2008, he's projecting something that feels idealistic and something that feels aspirational. And I think that that's really resonating. Now, what a lot of young voters don't realize, and, you know, I'm on the back end of that millennial segment, Gianno and I, the logistics as to how to implement that can be more challenging, but the vision sells.
Yeah. The vision includes free college for everybody.
And that's a great point and a great segue. Yes, he's talking about free college. He's talking about a number of things free. I think he's even giving away free Big Macs, if you will. So there's a number of issues that have younger voters attracted to him. Now, when it comes to African American and Latino voters, one of the reasons in which they particularly go to him over Hillary Clinton is because of Hillary Clinton's advocacy for the 1994 crime bill, which was the literal design of the prison industrial complex. So there's a number of folks in the African-American community who do not trust Hillary Clinton when it comes to the issues that concern African-Americans and Latinos the most.
But that's true. And I think to his point, when you're talking about marginalized communities, right, communities of color, they really, just like anybody else, John, they want to be in proximity to power. Yeah. Now, when you look at older generations, they look at the Clintons, Bill and Hillary, still is that kind of political royal dynasty, and they think they're the best chance at reaching that proximity to power. Younger voters, I don't think we buy it as much. We feel like we can do it on our own, and we don't default to that Clinton dynasty in the same way.
But it's been, what, 24 years since that crime bill was passed. Are people really, younger people, you know, voters of that era, really making the connection? Oh, 24 years ago,
absolutely.
Hillary Clinton voted for this. They are?
Absolutely. And when you're talking about young, educated, college-educated minorities, a lot of these individuals are looking at what she did in her past and how she's now apologizing for it when she decides to run for president versus when she was 8 years as a senator undoing the harm done in that crime bill. So a lot of people see that as disingenuous, and they have reason to believe so. Right now, young people feel as though she will do anything to win an election, whether it be lie, talk about an email scandal and say, hey, I didn't do this, what she really did. And people generally do not trust Hillary Clinton. And this is a very, very big problem for her.
Now, to be fair, though, Bernie also voted for the crime bill in '94. He did. But I do think he then can say, look, I made that mistake. He's explained it. He was an activist. He can talk about arrest that he made at the University of Chicago when he was arrested trying to implement integrations of schools. So, again, that kind of young activist mindset, I think, is appealing, and he can resonate.
He's been on Saturday Night Live with Larry David, who is sort of a, you know, a hero of the young set, and obviously, you know, that show very popular. That can't hurt his popularity among that age group.
No, and I don't believe it will hurt his popularity. The thing about Bernie Sanders that people like is this message has been fairly consistent. And they believe as though from the 70s when he was mayor and any of his other elected roles, he hasn't changed not one bit. Now, younger voters believe that he is going to be the guy who continues to do the things in which he says his rhetoric. They believe that he's going to take those actions, and they don't believe that with Hillary Clinton.
So they think he's the real deal.
They believe he's the real deal, for sure.
The believability and likability factors of Bernie Sanders cannot be denied. Now, the practicality and the pragmatism, we can debate those. Right. But when you're talking about young voters, John, I think that, again, that vision, they're called dreamers for a reason, those young Latino voters, that really resonates.
And the Fox News exit poll in New Hampshire provided a very good insight to that. 95% of young voters believe that he's honest and trustworthy.
Yeah. What about free college? I mean, my kids got free college, one of them because he went to a military academy, but the other, you know, the others because their parents paid for it.
Sure.
So when Bernie Sanders is saying free college for everybody, Is that an issue that resounds?
I think it resounds. Look, I don't believe in it. I was fortunate to get a full academic scholarship that I earned through merit. I
Good
think
for
there's
you.
something for no, but skin in the game I think counts. And I think there are ways and scholarships and other opportunities that we can talk about making college affordable. But the notion of just free, I think we need to get more clear.
And I agree with you on that. I'm actually still paying for college.
I'm paying for law school.
But Bernie Sanders come off to many as the candidate of Occupy Wall Street. You remember that old movement? Now he's the guy who's formally organized, and he's able to try to push this rhetoric into actual policy positions.
All right. We will see where the youth vote goes as this election draws ever closer.
Exciting.
Ebony, Gianno, thank you
for having me.
Thank you.